So True Detective Season 3 is becoming more and more of a reality, and I couldn't be more excited for this. I think that True Detective Season 1 and Season 2 are two of the best TV seasons that we've seen in a very long time. Yes, Season 2 had some flaws, but we overlook Season 1 having a lot of flaws as well because of the masterful performances from Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. I will go on record to state that I very much enjoyed Season 2 of True Detective, and I was very annoyed at the fact that a lot of the critics out there seem to have it out for the Nick Pizzolatto TV show. I didn't understand it. I thought that in the very least it was a good show. Was it a great show in Season 2? No, but I think given the amount of time that he had to write that entire season, because HBO was like, oh my gosh, we got a moneymaker on our hands, can you please write faster? I think he did a very admirable job of making a very entertaining television season. Now, that being said, we keep getting more and more news about True Detective Season 3, and the latest nugget of news is that the show is going to be set in the Ozark mountain range. I think this is awesome, but I already can see the headlines right now. Nick Pizzolatto is completely biting off the success of Jason Bateman's new TV show, Ozark. I happen to love Ozark as well. I thought it was one of the best TV shows that we've seen in 2017. It was highly entertaining. It was humorous. It was dark. It was gritty. You never knew what was going to happen from moment to moment, and that was what was so great about the first season of Ozark. It took me back to those earlier seasons of Game of Thrones where you truly never knew if your character was going to make it out alive of a particular scene. And I think that spontaneity is what made Ozark such a fun show to watch in its first season. And it was highly successful. It was a crime drama, so it kind of had, I guess, some similar tone since it was so dark, and True Detective is a very dark show as well. So I think with the news coming out that Season 3 of True Detective is set to take place in the Ozarks, there's bound to be unfair comparisons that will be made with Netflix's new hit show and True Detective Season 3. Here's a few reasons why I think this is purely coincidence and why Nick Pizzolatto is not copying Ozark. I do not think that Nick Pizzolatto saw the success of Ozark and was like, ooh, let me write some scripts really quickly. No, that's not how it works. Pizzolatto has been working on the script for True Detective Season 3 for quite some time now. Season 2 aired in 2015, so that's been at least 2 years that he has had to work on this script. Yes, I'm sure he probably heard something about this Ozark TV show. That's kind of how it happens within the circles of Hollywood. You hear inklings of somebody writing a show that's really, really entertaining, and I'm sure he heard something about it, but I do not think that that had anything to do with any type of inspiration for him setting the characters within the Ozarks within Season 3. Because Pizzolatto is actually extremely familiar with the Ozark Mountains, with him having gone to the University of Arkansas in Northwest Arkansas, which happens to be located within the Ozark mountain range. So he's very familiarized with this area and probably had this story in the back of his head for quite some time. Reason number 3, similar settings do not matter. Story does. Yes, True Detective is going to be centered on crime, and it is very dark like we spoke about earlier. Yes, this has similarities to the plot of Ozark, but where Ozark focused more on the criminal organization aspect of its show and season, True Detective has always put the emphasis on the detectives, focusing on the moral complications that law enforcement officers often deal with. In Season 3, Mahershala Ali is playing a state detective named Wayne Hayes. In Ozark, the show was all about laundering money. It was kind of the other side of the coin. Plus, True Detective Season 1 shined in its rural setting, where Season 2, it felt the weight of being in the sprawling settings of LA. Heading back to a rural setting is a great fit for True Detective Season 3 to shine once again. To me, I honestly can't believe that we are getting 2 series set in the Ozarks, because I spent a lot of time there. I actually went to the University of Arkansas as well, and then I worked within all over Missouri and Arkansas. And you see a lot of crazy stuff within the Ozark Mountains because it almost feels like it's a part of the United States that's kind of neglected in the sense of law enforcement. Sure, there are law enforcement there within the Ozark Mountains, but it's all very small town centered and local law enforcement. So there's a lot of stuff that goes down within that area, and I'm surprised that it's taken Hollywood this long to catch on to all of the charm and craziness that takes place in this part of the United States. So for me, sign me up for True Detective Season 3. I think it's going to be amazing. So far, Nick Pizzolatto has written 5 scripts, one with the assistance of badass Deadwood creator David Milch. Jeremy Saulnier is signed up to direct some of the episodes, which I think is super awesome. If you don't know anything about him, he's the brilliant writer and director of Blue Ruin and Green Room. And of course, like I said earlier, it's set to star Mahershala Ali playing one of our detectives. I cannot wait for True Detective Season 3. I am so happy that HBO has finally greenlit Season 3 and that Nick Pizzolatto is back on board. I think he's going to be very energized to set out and prove the critics wrong with Season 2 and that he was only a one-hit wonder with True Detective Season 1. If we could only get this next summer, since Game of Thrones is never going to come out again. What do you guys think? Are you excited for True Detective Season 3? Do you feel like that it's too convenient that the Season 3 is set in the Ozarks, hot on the heels of the success of Jason Bateman's new Netflix series? Let me know all those thoughts in the comment box down below. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.